Pozdravljam sve. Hello, how are you? Hello. Hello, my friend, how are you?
Welcome one more time. This is the Vila Gorica, one of our most representative building, when we have the VIP guest from all around the world. So today is the pleasure to have you here. I will try to give some comments in the beginning about the foreign policy of Montenegro, and to not make this like a boring session. It will be good to make the interaction, so you are free to ask whatever you want, to make the comment, critics, give some opinions, or whatever you think that is important for the discussion. I'm sure that in many lectures you had in previous days, you heard about the foreign policy of Montenegro, but I will try to just jump in our, let's say, three most important things. First of all, we are a country which have the one challenge, which is for us most important thing, that is to become the member of EU as soon as possible. And maybe I will be a little bit arrogant or egoistic, but I think that I'm 100% sure that this is the truth, that I think that Montenegro is perfect country to relive the enlargement process of EU. EU lost one member in the previous period. You know that Great Britain decided to go out of EU, and they didn't have the enlargement for the few years. The last one was the Croatia. So I think that now is time to have the new member, and I think that Montenegro is the perfect country for that. Why I think? What is my, let's say, argument on that? First of all, Montenegro is the country who don't have any kind of problem with the neighbors. Have very good relation with the neighbors, with some of them perfect relation, with some of them can be better, but they are definitely in the high level. And I think that if you compare this with another countries in the region, you don't find this kind of example. Second, I think that Montenegro is pretty small with the population and with the economy, and in that way it will not be in the eyes of another member countries like a country who can make some big competition to their economies, and for EU countries this is really, really important. And the third thing, which is also important for this argument, is that this system can change in, let's say, pretty easy way, because people here really don't look on our country like a country who have some big geopolitical aspiration or have some need to discuss about, let's say, very big global things. In that sense, I think that Montenegro is the perfect, and if that's happen, which is our wish, I think that that will be the very big boost also for our neighbors to just see that example and to go in some same way. Second thing which is important for us in foreign policy is to make the good relation with another countries which are not EU countries. In that sense, I think that they are in the first place for the foreign policy the countries who are NATO members, who are not in EU but they are NATO members, and especially this is connected with our most bigger alliance, that's United States of America, but also another countries from Euro-Atlantic world. Why this is important? Because small countries, from my point of view, cannot be out of this collective security systems. It's impossible to talk that the countries with a configuration like Montenegro can just feel comfortable if it's not part of some bigger security system. I think that also for big countries, now in this contemporary world, it's impossible to think in that direction. We should not look only what's happened this after the aggression of Russia to Ukraine. This is one example which is pretty new, but look at what's happened when Corona was around the world. So which country can say we don't need nobody support, nothing, we are okay with that, we can fight with these kind of things alone. I am not sure that also from country with you coming can do that. And this is not any more question of size. Is the question of how many friends you have, how many good relations you have, and how we can all together promote global solidarity. So in that context, I think that for Montenegro was extremely important to join NATO. That's happened in 2017, and I think that this is the big historical goal which we achieve like a country. And the third pillar is to have the relation with some of countries which are here present, but many other countries in the world which are not part of EU, not part of the NATO, and they are existing. For Montenegro, it was difficult to make relation with everybody because there is lack of capacity. So that's I am really happy when I see our friends from Mexico or from Qatar or from Indonesia or from some another place, because it's not about the wish, it's about the capacities. Sometimes you don't have enough money to open everywhere embassies. Sometimes we don't have possibility to have the bilateral relation or in the high level, and our embassy around the world trying to make that, but sometimes we like a small country are not so interested for everybody. But I think that it's incredibly important to use every kind of opportunity to try to build that relation. In former Yugoslavia, the diplomacy was, from my point of view, very strong and very serious, and we still saw 30 years, more than 30 years after the disappearing of Yugoslavia, we still have in some African countries friends and people who talking about that time of Yugoslavia or cooperation with Yugoslavia. Now we have much more countries in the area of Yugoslavia. Everybody builds relation in all themselves. From my point of view, I think that it's not bad and it's not a weakness to time by time try to use also capacity of our neighbor countries to make some, let's say, common presentation. This can not only be presentation in the political way. With political, it's always something which is, let's say, more sensitive and with a lot of emotion. But let's say in economical way. And I think that Montenegro should make the diplomacy which is pretty focused on economy. And in the contemporary world, I think that this component is much more important than another. So if we bring some company to make the business in Montenegro for some of your country, I think that immediately interest of that country for Montenegro is growing. And I have many times requests that they, in the way to support the own business and own companies, trying to have the good political relation with some countries. This happened with the countries from the Middle East, which are here present, especially for the Emirates. We have the big investment in Montenegro from Emirates, and I think that our wish is to continue to have it also with another Gulf countries. In the last period, we discussed a little bit with Saudi Arabia, and I think that I met the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar 2 days ago in Baku. So things going in really good way for that part of the world. Africa is pretty far from us in the context of interest. We don't have too much possibility to make the relation. Only place when we met a lot of African countries in Francophonia summit or in summit like 2 days ago, which was for not allied countries. And I think that we need to see how maybe together with some other countries make the better presentation there. For the South America, it's one good news for us. With the many countries in South America, we don't need the visas for travel, which is good. I think also with this, which we have the visas, they are ready to cut the visas, but somebody need to go to ask them for that. So This is good, but there is not too much, because it's far, it's not too much, let's say, moving of the people or the goods from that part of the world. I think that Argentina is a little bit different, because we have the one part of population there who are from Montenegro, who emigrate in the period of before First World War, and I think that we in some areas in Argentina have some very credible Montenegrin. Also, just to make a little bit excursion, one very famous Pope, Emilio Ognjanović, was in Argentina for many years. He was the person who was the spiritual father of the Pope Francesco, who is now current Pope, and I talked with the Pope about this, and he was really exciting about that somebody from Montenegro was so high in the hierarchy of the Catholic Church in Argentina for many decades. So world is pretty small. With China is the present everywhere with the investment. It is superpower. It was closed for this few years because of Corona, and before the Corona in 2019 we have a lot of Chinese tourists here in Montenegro. I hope that now it's time to recover the touristic sector. There is a lot of discussion about China, about investment of China, this and that. If you want to hear something more, I am ready to give the information, but general message of our country is that everybody who wants to make the fair business by the law, it's more than welcome. It's more than welcome. So there is no some, let's say, special restriction or everybody who wants to make the fair business, it's welcome, and this is incredibly important. I am looking that because I like tourism a lot, and coming from the one city like my friend, which is touristic place I didn't know that you have possibility to visit the coast in the very nice city. All cities in Montenegro are nice, but this is very special for the people who like to go to the beaches. Beaches are very big and long. So I think that Montenegro should need to concentrate in three parts of the world if we want to succeed a lot in touristic sector. That is the Middle East, the countries, Gulf countries, China, and United States. Because we already have the people from Europe, already have a lot of people from the region, and these three parts of the world, which are huge in the number of people, I think we can very easy make possible to become the let's say attractive destination for the coming. In the, let's say, of summary, are here people from Australia, from everywhere. Our connection with these, let's say, far countries are only with our people who live there. In Australia, living on maybe not huge number, but one number of people from Montenegro. It's much bigger number of people from the former Yugoslavia. Time by time we're saying that all we are, let's say, same or together. But what is the point? The point is that we are in middle of the Europe, and we want to be recognized like a country who want to give some kind of contribution to the promotion of universal values. Because idea is this, the size of the country is not important. Important is the wish and the energy which you use for promoting that kind of values. And I think that makes the difference. That makes the difference. So in that context, we really will push in the next period, and this is the wish of more than 80% of our population to join EU. But this is not that the way to somebody to understand that we exclude the relation with another countries. For the country which want to build economy in very open way, I think that it's very important to bring this cosmopolitan spirit. And I think that the key message also when we meet each other for the first time is that. So Montenegro tried to give the contribution to build this cosmopolitan spirit everywhere. And maybe you didn't know, maybe you heard or something, we are the only country which is by constitution declared like ecological state. And I think that this is the big global advantage of Montenegro in comparison with every single country in the world. I am more than sure that countries which will write constitution in next period or change constitution in some next period, that will put also this component for the protecting of environment. And I think that the wish of the government, which is big challenge, it's not something which can do one government or for the short period of time, is to build the country like a green destination. I think this will be very attractive also for the visitors, but also for our let's say domestic people. In the north of the country, you can why we are ecological state, not because our behavior is too green or too ecological. We need to improve that. It's not about that, but it is because you can drink the water from our rivers in the north of the country without any kind of problems. And I think that this is the key value what we need to protect. The education can change the behavior of the people. But if we make the pollution and if we destroy the rivers, the lakes, the sea, the coast, the national parks, there is no anymore possibility to change that. So I think that we need to use this advantage and to see how this can be part. Why I mentioned this, because I think that this also can be part of our diplomacy in the next period. I think that a lot of countries, especially rich countries, are interested to make some kind of the projects which are connected with the environment, and I think that Montenegro can be the good example for that. There is one of my friends from Kuwait who have one great idea. I don't know if it's possible to realize, but it's a great idea to make one big event in Montenegro with the famous persons, with the celebrities, not from politics, but from the sport, from the actors, movie actors, this, that, music, who are really, let's say, in this to support the green initiatives and to start this kind of event, to start a global event which will start in Montenegro like a country which is by constitution declared like ecological state. I think that will be very big boost, because today I think that is much bigger thing than to make the, let's say, this ordinary diplomacy day by day. So people living in one fast mood, and they want things which are really easy to catch, and they are under the pressure of these influencers and this kind of thing. So I think that kind of thing can promote country much better that we like a politician can do without, let's say, this conventional relation. So in that sense, to try to conclude somehow, I am very optimistic about Montenegro, Yes, it's true, to be very honest, we have some challenges like a country. Our biggest challenge is to improve the rule of law, because we didn't have the changes for the long time, and that makes some implication in our institution. Now we start, let's say, some kind of new era when people understand that they can change governments, things, ministers, presidents, everything. I think that gives somehow the power to the ordinary people, but we need to do more in promotion of justice and making our institutions, which are directly connected with that, to be more stronger, more independent and more professional. This is not the short term, this is not something that can be changed immediately, but I think that process is start. And if we keep the peace and stability in the region, which is not depend from Montenegro, Not at all, it's not depend from Montenegro, but if we keep, I think that we really, until 2030, can succeed a lot. I think that we can be part of EU before, of course, but I think that in next 6-7 years, I think that we can succeed a lot. I really believe in that. So, because I am a little bit extraordinary prime minister for many things, I am not so restrictive about the citizenship of Montenegro. This is my personal opinion, I think that we should move to have not to have the same number of population for decades, how we think, and to be afraid that if somebody else come to live in our country or live for the long time and cannot get the citizenship, that is something which is very problematic. I think in different way. I think that we have now 600,000 people, but I really believe that Montenegro in the 2 next decades can become the country which have near to 1 million people like population. And this is the way how we can, let's say, come to the development. Development without the people, it's impossible. Development without the people, it's impossible. Improving of education, it's impossible without people. Improving of healthcare system, improving of tourism, improving of transport, it's impossible without the people. This is. And I think that if we just understand, because we have one history on this region, which was not so nice. The problem of the Western Balkan is because politicians always talk about the past. 90%, maybe more, they talking about the past. They not talking about the future. And if we, new generation, if have different approach, we will see they have or not, but to move the focus from that past to the future, I am more than sure that we can succeed a lot. When I say that succeed a lot, it's to be somewhere in the average of EU. Because there are a lot of countries in EU which are not much better than Montenegro. And I think that we can, with the good politics, with the focus on the future, with some kind of consensus, like a citizen, for the future, for some main things, of course, that we will have political discussion about many issues, I think that we can succeed a lot. This is the way how I see the future of my country. We should move the focus from the past to the future. It's not easy. There is a lot of things what's happened in previous period, but also after Second World War you have the France and Germany like big enemies during the world, but few years after they starting to make the cooperation, and they come first of all to some economical community. After that they rebuilt also another organization which in one moment start to be European Union. We in the Balkan need to understand that nobody will come to fix our problems. We really appreciate every single partners from international community who support us in many ways, in financial way, in way of building our institution, promotion, good things, making training for our officials, and many kind of things, politically also, in diplomacy also. But we should understand that in the end of the day, people who living here, they need to change their lives. If we don't understand this simple message, I think that we will waste time by time like in previous period. So to conclude, I am optimistic. There are no challenges also inside the country. There are challenges also around us. Today we will have the guest, the Prime Minister of Albania, which have the tour because of the situation between Serbia and Kosovo. And we want to play the constructive role. The only request from Montenegro is to have the peace, stability, and to be focused on the progress, economical progress, easy movement to the people, easy movement to the goods, to make a business and to let's say, promote more reconciliation all around the region. This is the reason why I think that Montenegro should use this better position to what we have now in comparing with our neighbors. Maybe they will not accept this sentence, but I think that is true, and try to be like a good example to others to follow us and to make the same thing to succeed together. In the end of the day, the idea is that all together to be in the EU. And I didn't mention, maybe it's important, but I didn't mention the situation about the Ukraine. We follow 100% the foreign policy of EU. We are a country which is compatible with the foreign policy of EU in every single aspect. We move forward with a sanction against Russia Federation. Unfortunately, we are really sad because of war, and we praying for peace. That situation destroyed our economy in the way because 20% of our touristic market was the people from the Russia Federation, Belarus and Ukraine. But last year we looked at in that it will be the very big mess and very big problem for us in economical aspect. In political aspect, it's under the zero with the Russia Federation. But we manage situation pretty well. I am very satisfied. We starting with moving to promote Montenegro in some another destination, and this last year, when was year of war, we didn't feel too much problems. Not in the context of energy, not in the context of economy. Today, Montenegro is, believe or not, the country who have the most Ukrainian refugees per capita. More than 5% of our population are Ukrainians. In the context of percentage, it's more than in Poland, more than Moldova, more than Romania, more than Hungary, more than Croatia, more than Germany, more than everywhere. And what is the difference? Everybody feel very safe and comfortable. Also, we have the people from Russia Federation who are not under the sanction, who are here like a tourist, or the people who have some kind of property, apartments and things, and who have don't have restriction to come to Montenegro, and we are not recognizing any kind of problems between Russians and Ukrainians in Montenegro. So I am very proud, and I want to congratulate all my colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other ministries for this kind of result. I hope we are really interested to finish this role as soon as possible. We support Ukraine people because we think that that is the attacking of international law and of the basic human rights, of the rights of people to decide in what kind of country they want to live or in which organization they want to participate. We from the beginning support the open door policy. It's same for Sweden and Finland in the context of NATO, because we use this mechanism also for us. So if some country want to join some organization, and if they follow all the rules and all the norms, I am not seeing any kind of argument to say to some countries, you will not join this organization. It's very easy aspect. If you follow the rules and everything, everybody who is more than welcome. This is, if some country don't want to join, also respecting this kind of politics of decisions, and this is really fair. So in that context, I am very satisfied, and I hope that we will not have the problem in the next period. We never knows. The situation is time by time. Information are different. Sometimes it's really complicated, but I think that it's up to these, let's say, more bigger countries and more superpower to see how they can bring the sides on the table and in diplomatic way, in dialogue to solve the problem. Violence, it's not acceptable. In 21st century, from my point of view, it's very primitive to use the violence to come to some political goal. Because they are much more another tools which we can use. Diplomacy, economy, things, relation, companies, this, that, culture, everything. But from my point of view, violence, it's really, really unacceptable in any kind of aspect. And I think that they will come to the situation to find somehow the solution. I am not sure that, and my prediction is that that will not be soon. Unfortunately, I think that that will not be soon. But until that, we will try to be very credible partner in protecting of human rights and to support the Ukraine. The support of Montenegro to Ukraine in the comparing of our capacity is in that way that I'm saying also to you, but I always saying to my colleagues, that if Germany provides the same support to Ukraine, Ukraine will win the war. In percentage of the military support, financial support, in another aspects, so in percentage. Yes, it's true, somebody can say you have 30,000 Ukrainians, we have million, yes, but we have 600,000 population. This 5% is 5%. This is the truth. Also in providing the another thing. So in that context, don't finish with this bad topics or sad topics. I think that the country is on the right track. First time in our history, in this complicated year 2022, we finished with more than 5 billion GDP. I think that this year we will finish with more than 6 billion GDP. And these are results which we never see in history of our country. Our wish is that this touristic season finish with a record. Our record season was 2019, before COVID. That was the best touristic season. Now we have all indicators which showing us that we are in some cases 10%, in some cases more than 15% better than in that 2019. But we will see what will be with this main season. The good thing is that people coming from all around the world, people coming this year first time from Kuwait, first time from Uzbekistan. Last year we starting first time with Kazakhstan. So people from Kazakhstan are very, very satisfied with Montenegro. Dubai, it's for the many years is present. Azerbaijan, I'm talking about these countries which are a little bit far. And I think that finally we starting to sell the arrangement in Boka Kotorska, which are connected with the Dubrovnik. So people who come to the Croatia, because for the US tourist, Croatia is very famous. Montenegro is undiscovered. Yet I think that we will first time have the more number of people of US which will visit the Boka Bay. From my point of view, the best part of, most beautiful part of Montenegro. So if we continue like this, we will be okay. Only what we see like a problem is that something in the region or something far from us, but not so far in this globalized world, can change this atmosphere and can put us again in some problems which we really don't want to see. So to finish, this is the country of sun, fun, wine, and I am more than sure of some good and positive vibration, and I really wanted with this kind of feeling you go back to your country. Thank you, and now the floor is yours.
My name is Mirala. I'm coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have one question. First of all, thank you for your time and thank you for your words. I was wondering, do you see your country as a country which doesn't have any problems or open questions with the neighbor countries as some kind of mediator, not just in a sense of Kosovo, then in all conflicts within neighbor countries. Do you think you could manage that? And because you're so optimistic about the EU, I hope that you will not forget neighbor countries and to lobby for them when you go in. Good luck.
Thank you very much. So, I am a big fan of Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was studying there and follow the situation there, and I don't like, to be very honest, also with this last development. I really don't like. But what can we do? This is talking about the past. I think that a lot of politicians in Bosnia talks about the past. I am not criticizing them. Some of them are my friends, but this is, and it's very hard to switch that. To switch that because it's very hard rhetoric. Still, it's very hard rhetoric. You are right that media also in context of Montenegro and also context of government of Montenegro sometimes provide different kind of information which are not so time by time in favor of this in this good relation of the countries. But this is not the truth. What we can do? We living in the society which its fake news is dominated. And we live in the society when bad news have a lot of boost and good news it's hard to find. Go in any single, I am not now because always talking to me that I am attacking media or freedom. I am not attacking, but I am from my point of view speaking the truth. Go to every single web portal now. If you don't find 90% the bad news in the top position, I will just come and say, I'm sorry, I'm not saying the truth. This is the situation. So, with this putting bad energy to the people day by day, they can, I am sometimes surprised that people are still in good mood because they are reading, hearing everything. It's not like that. It's not like that in Bosnia. It's not like that in Bosnia. I don't like this situation in north of Kosovo. I think that this really thing what is out of any kind of logic. From my point of view, but I am not living there, they have the conflict about something which is not important. Maybe for the people who are living there it's very important, and this is the perspective. I think that they fight for something which is not important. And I think that the people in Balkan, politicians in Balkan, using a lot of energy, a lot of passion in things which are not important. In the end of the day, they are not important. This is my opinion. About the EU, I am optimistic, but the EU should also have the vision. If you look EU is looking like this, perfect. But EU also have internal challenges. And EU have the countries which are very interested for the enlargement and the countries which are not interested in enlargement, which is okay. If they are countries who are from Western Balkans, they are not so interested for the enlargement. If you see the countries who are around us, they are more interested because they think that that is important for the security, for everything. So this is the situation. I think that if Montenegro move forward, I think that that will be the big boost for Bosnia and Herzegovina and other countries to move forward. And if EU not use this opportunity, what we have after the war in Ukraine, to open the door for these countries, I think that maybe we will lose the historical chance. This is how I see the situation. Because it's not only EU, there are other countries which want somehow to interfere, to have the influence in this part of the world. And if we don't use now, when we have a lot of solidarity, a lot of understanding about something what is bad, okay, economy, things, institution, okay, and understand we should do more. But if now we are not using, this will be disaster. But from Montenegro, just to conclude, you will have full support all the time, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and if something good happens to us, that will mean that something good will happen to you. And also is the different. If we are not succeed, I think that will be somehow bad message also for another countries.
Asking any questions, you already said that. I just want to tell one thing. You said this is a country of sun, fun, and wine, but I want to say that this is a country of great people who are the great neighbors to all those countries in the Balkan. That's pretty much hard thing to do. It's pretty much hard to be a good neighbor to every other country that surrounds you. So thank you, and thank you for the support. We will waiting you to be our guest, and thank you all for being a great host.
Thank you very much. Great to hear that. From which country you are?
From Bosnia, of course.
Bosnia, okay. I think it's not hard, just one comment, I think it's not hard to be the person who, but people don't want to try. The people who give the hug to each other. People don't want to try. I think that everybody will feel much better when in the neighborhood have the friends that have the enemies, but people don't want to try. Politicians don't want to try. They have the calculation, which is disaster from my point of view, but it's functional in our country. So if you produce the enemies, you homogenize over people and you staying on the power. So this here is just the question to stay on the power. I think that another thing is the goal. Goal is to move forward, not to stay in the power. Thing is to go forward, because if we go forward, that will bring power to all of us.
My name is Julia, I'm coming from Finland, and as you stated, we recently joined NATO, and while we were in the process, there were many countries and many people asking from us, what kind of NATO country would you like to be, what kind of policies would you like to advance as a NATO country? So my question to you, Mr. Prime Minister, would be, once you become an EU member, what kind of EU member would you like to be, and what kind of policy as a EU member would you like to advance? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate you for your success, finished joining the NATO. I have that pleasure to be when your flag was raised in the NATO headquarters. And to say true, but maybe it's like a fun, the Putin is only man in the world who motivated Finland and Sweden to join the NATO. So he want less NATO, and now he have more NATO. Because we never believed that Finland and Sweden will have the request for the NATO. But it's good. I think that's okay. Which country we want to be? It's difficult because we have our specificity. But the idea is just to be the country which have the better living standard for the population. And I want to see that we are really open and liberal society in the context of respecting everybody and let's say use this our configuration to explain that country can succeed in some, let's say, pretty fast way. But if you ask the Montenegrin, also if you ask the government, we always use that example when we want to talk about something what is good. We're talking about the Scandinavian country. You say this is the healthcare, education, this, that, about the Scandinavian country. I am not sure that we can be like a Scandinavian country. I don't think that we need to be like a Scandinavian country because we have some another temperament, another concept of people. But to make some good combination, I am for that.
I'm Natasha from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Montenegro, and I want to ask you, as a coordinator of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, maybe to express the aspirations of Montenegro towards the opening of new embassies, because we are a small country which is looking for more embassies in the world, and maybe to express which could be the new embassies in which parts of the world according to your function, because you traveled during your mandate, and now you maybe have some the opinion about this question. So this is the diplomatic question to our diplomats who are here.
Thank you very much. So, to be honest with some of our embassies, I am very satisfied how they work, and from some I am very unsatisfied. But this is my personal opinion, and I hope that the new minister will see how to solve that. This is first. Second, it's good that we will have a new embassy in Netherlands, so in Holland. Why? Because that country is very skeptic about the enlargement process. It's pretty skeptic. I discussed with the Prime Minister of Netherlands, and I think that this will bring possibility to let's say, share more information what's happening in our country or in our region, which will be good if we want to use this fast track to move forward to the EU. But if you ask me when we need to have the embassies, we need to have the embassies in the Middle East, because we want to do that some projects, especially in the tourism. This is something what we need to move forward, and we need to see how we can open the embassy in Japan, believe or not, in Japan, because Japan spent €500 million in this region, €500 million support in this region, and from that Montenegro it's nowhere. And only reason because of that is because we don't use diplomatic relation. Only reason. They don't have any kind of restriction. They are very happy we move forward to that, very ready to support. So, you know, because you work in ministry, if you ask governments or Ministry of Finance to open, they say spending this, we don't have money, they are not working, nothing, this, that, and people don't understand simple things. If we bring one investment from one country, we just provide that embassy can be there for 10 years without problems. Also, they are the countries which you don't need to pay to be there, which have the pleasure to have more countries in the side, and we are not using this. So I think that we should think in that direction, but not moving forward, focus from the countries which are in the Europe, and when we need to have the, let's say, more intensive diplomacy because of this, what is our, let's say, biggest political goal.
And I'm from Hungary. And many thanks for your hospitality. And my question would be, does Montenegro plan to join to the Open Balkan Initiative? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we are members of 71, 72 regional initiatives. Now is the Open Balkan. It's a lot of discussion about Open Balkan. We will discuss today also with the Prime Minister of Albania. We went to the event like an observer until now, and the idea is very, from my point of view, it's very easy to understand what is the point. Every single regional initiatives, it's like a tool for every country to be better in integration process. This. For my personal opinion, name of initiative is unimportant. Important is that we have some output, good output from that, or not. And until now, maybe it's in little crisis, Open Balkan. I don't know. We will hear what founders say about that. But every initiatives which have the focus economical relation, I think it's very useful for the region. It's very useful for the region, which don't have focus on some another topics which we maybe for the moment cannot solve. But if you ask me, are you for free market? Yes, I am. Are you for the very flexible these borders? Yes, I am. And I don't understand the people who say, I am to join EU, but I am not for the flexible borders. Because EU, one of the key things is that they don't have borders between each other. This is. If you think that is good to say that somebody who come like a tourist in Montenegro need to wait 3 hours on the border, for me this is disaster. Somebody say this is the question of security. It's not. It's not. I am now not in possibility to use all the time, but I was like a deputy prime minister responsible for security. That is not. Every people who is arrested in the border is because they have the information that somebody makes something. It's not people speaking something what they don't know, or they really want to speak something what is the lie because they have some interest. This is, from my point of view, now today you have in shopping malls, you have the cameras which make a picture of your car number and things in the shopping malls. I say use this system for the borders. In shopping malls they say no, this is the, we need to have the security, one giving the passport to one, to another. I am for cooperation. This is not, for me, name of initiative is unimportant. Unimportant. Just to have the output for cooperation. And Montenegro, in all these initiatives, many initiatives which we try to be really trust and honest partner, honest member.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister, for sharing your thoughts and opinions about the foreign policy of Montenegro. My name is Mehmet Marina, I'm from Kosovo. I just wanted to ask in the context of the EU enlargement. We know that Montenegro is a front-runner in the integration process, but what do you think the Western Balkans should be integrated as a whole package, or it should go one by one based on the merit process? And what, from your perspective, what are the challenges that might stop the Western Balkan countries to join the EU as a package? What are the issues that needs to be solved or that needs to be improved in order to move all together forward? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't misunderstand me, but we are not for this to go all together. not because we want to see all in the end of the day, this is the final goal, to all together be there. But I don't think that we need to, if some country is more successful, need to wait for others. Because as soon one country, doesn't matter, it cannot be Montenegro, some other countries, can join, I think that will be the big motivation for another neighbors to say, yes, we need to follow these examples and this is good. So I think that is from my point of view more realistic. And you have in the regions countries we don't have compatible foreign policy with the EU. This is also what's happened. You have the countries which have some, let's say, more problems. I hope that they will solve and things will change. And the final idea is altogether to be there. This is final idea, because even if hypothetically we say that Montenegro will join tomorrow EU, if you have neighbors Albania, Kosovo, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina who are not in EU, that will be also an uncomfortable situation for us. So our interest is to everybody join. This is. But of course, if somebody passed the road before, I think that they need to open the door. We will see what will happen. I just think that sometimes we are not advocating things in a good way and want to give you example. I have possibility to sit with the leaders of the 6 Balkan countries in many meetings with the EU officials. And only way when we have I am not too long in politics, but that's happened in New York after it was the General Assembly of UN, but we have the meeting with Mr. Borrell. And that was the only meeting when we have the common request. And we succeed. So we say it's the big energy crisis, and we want to request the EU to support us somehow, because you support many of your countries, we support the foreign policy of EU. It will be fair to have some kind of support. And in that way, we succeed altogether. We take €500 million for all our countries, because that was the only time when I was there that we all say, yes, this is also request of Kosovo, also request of Serbia, also request, are you okay? Everybody are okay. We want this, and we take. And I am more than sure, if we go there, not to fight each other, to speak bad about each other, but go there with some, let's say, saying, oh, we have the agreement that we want to build this road or something, I think it will be much easy to convince them to support us. So it will be good if we more advocate for each other and not to speak bad about each other.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your kind words. And I would like at the beginning to introduce myself. I'm Diplomate Ahmed Sami from the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'd like to express my gratitude for the generosity we have foreseen from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the organizers. It was such a pleasure to visit Montenegro, and for sure I'm coming back again to Montenegro. And regarding Your Excellency's word about having new embassies overseas, and especially in the Middle East, for example, the tourism industry, I think we have like an opportunity in Egypt. For example, we have a very popular touristic destination, like we have the Red Sea, we have the Mediterranean Sea, and there are very high potentials of cooperation between both of our countries. For example, we are starting to hit about $10 billion US dollar of tourism in Egypt nowadays. So I think we are getting more and more higher rates than before COVID. And also regarding your future cooperation with other countries in Africa, I think that we may go for the Switzerland example of having an embassy in Egypt that covers other countries around. So I think there are very high potentials of cooperation between our countries. By the end, I would like to thank you again for your words and for your hospitality, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Just to say that I forgot to mention that, but we have the direct flights also with Egypt. So this is very, very good. 100 million population. This is the huge market for us. And I am fully agree. I follow what Egypt make in tourism, but not only in tourism. I follow now the situation with Alexandria Port, because we are interested to bring some big operator also in Montenegro. So I wish you all the best. And you are right. If we decide to open the embassy, I think that definitely Cairo can be one of the places for this covering more countries around. The reason is very simple. The Cairo is biggest city in that part of the world, one of the biggest city in the world, and I think that it will be very good that Montenegro use the opportunity to make connection not only with the state of Egypt, but also with the state who are there present. So thank you for this kind word, and I wish you also all the best. You have the great country.
Prime Minister, thank you very much for having us, and thanks for all of the time you're dedicating to us in the beginning and now. It feels very special. I'm Corin, I'm from the Netherlands, but I don't have a skeptical question today. You mentioned some of your achievements as a Prime Minister, and I would like to ask you, if looking back at being a Prime Minister so far, what is the thing you can say to be most proud of?
Oh, this is the difficult question. I am proud on many things, but I am most proud that I make some decision which nobody before wants to make. This is. And I say the most difficult thing give me in the beginning. That is the most problematic thing in this country. That was the agreement with the church. Bring it in the beginning. This is. I am proud on that. And I think that decision making destroyed this country in the context of politics, of economy, and of everything. People don't know to make the decision. They are not ready, they don't have enough courage, they don't know, and that this make the mess. So if you decide to be the politician, if you decide to be the official, if you decide to work in the public administration or in private business, make a decision. Make it wrong, doesn't matter. But don't put everything on the folder and everything to have on pending. This is the context of the public administration in Montenegro. They don't make any kind of decision, not good, not bad. I am proud that I think I make a lot of decision in fast way. I am 1 year in office. Fast way, which really change the things. Okay, people will say changing good in bad way, but if I look when we start, what kind of problems we have when we start, and today after the election process, which was like in Netherlands, very relaxed with any kind of problems, I think that for the short period of time, we changed the atmosphere. There are a lot of things to do, a lot of challenges, but we changed the atmosphere, and I think that people now starting to think about some another issues.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much for this insightful lecture for us. I am Luka from Serbia. You were talking about cooperation in the region, in the terms of economics, politics, and I can say some kind of on some official level. But which tools should be used to foster people more on some human level? Because I think that is a key to achieve the peace here. Thank you very much.
Luka, you are fully right. I talked this about the borders. This is the way how we can bring people together, and I am fully agree with you that if people meet each other, talk each other, they change the position. They change the position, and the people in the Western Balkan, in Serbia, in Montenegro, in Albania, in Kosovo, in Bosnia, they are much in better relation each other than they are politicians. They are in much better relation. They are this is much better relation. Much better relation. I'm living in the city, which I want to give these personal examples. During the summer, you have the beach bars, a lot of young people, and the music, it's Albanian, Serbian, Bosnian, the English. I never heard that people fight, why is this, why is that, why. People don't care. People don't care. Politicians care. They making negativity, pushing the negativity and don't giving the people to feel you are okay. I support this kind of approach that in personal relation people need to build the better society. In business is the same. Business is the same. Look how much more Serbian people decide to have the vacation in Albania. Look at the statistic in the last 3 or 4 years. Look at the statistic. And the people in Serbia saying it's very good, it's okay, it's very good. This is the way how we can change the things.
Do you see possible cooperation between Western Balkan 6 countries and countries like Moldova or Ukraine or Georgia, that format? Not only Western Balkan 6 countries, just those 6, but also formats like Western Balkan 6 plus Moldova or plus Georgia, as we are now in the same boat after getting the EU candidateship status.
You organized a great meeting, great summit of EU in Moldova. I want to congratulate you for that. For us, it's okay. We are not selfish. We are not selfish. We went in Kiev day before they get the candidate status for the EU, because we want to pass the message that doesn't matter that is the war for Montenegro. Also, I go with the Prime Minister of Albania and Prime Minister of North Macedonia, which was by VTC. We like NATO countries which have aspiration to be in EU, saying, look, for us, this is okay. if you follow the rules for us, you are more than welcome. Same is with Moldova, same is with Georgia. For us, it's okay. What we want to see, like for the how I said to the colleague before, if some countries finish their jobs, I think that it's okay to say, okay, join. This is nothing else. There are now two models, of one of which represent President of France, another which is presented by President Charles Michel about the future models, but they are also, for now, they are only like models of concepts. We will see what will be in the future. But if we want to have the common, solidar Europe, I think that need to be a place for every single country who have that aspiration. Thank you very much one more time, and sorry if you